Hello, I'm Brett Knowles from PM Squared Consulting. This quick YouTube shows you how we can integrate the concepts of game mechanics with strategy in the application of helping businesses perform better, and in this case example, a sales force. So in this example, we're going to describe a sales force for a sort of small to medium-sized business. Its strategy has two key components. One is we want to attract new customers. In other words, sales to new customers are more important to us than sales from existing customers. And secondly, we want to be using our existing products. So if we were to set this up for a sales rep against these priorities, we'd come up with a table that looks something like this. In this case, we can see that we have activities like what are the processes that they work in. Now, obviously, a salesperson is involved in selling. So an activity, selling to new customers. And you can see that in selling to new customers, we earn 500 points for every new customer we attract. In terms of sales dollars from new customers, we earn 100 points for every 10,000 in revenue. Now here, if we take a look at sales dollars from existing customers, we only earn 10 points. In other words, we earn 10 times as many points for that same dollars from new customer. So this is showing the importance of sales from new customers. And in fact, the biggest points, these 500 points, don't worry about revenue at all. It merely, is this a new customer, new to our customer database? Now, the sales rep may also work on activities. For example, maybe you're implementing Salesforce.com. We expect that to take 4 months. And for this rep's participation, if they achieve on budget, on time, on quality work, they earn 200 points. For their own development, in this case, their personal training program, maybe they've agreed with their boss they're going to do 3 or 4 training courses this year. They get 100 points for every course they complete. But it's also important that they share their knowledge, what they know, with their coworkers. So in this case, they earn 100 points for every apprentice that they take on. So we can see different classifications of work. A third one might be their contribution to corporate values. In this case, I don't know, maybe they run a Boy Scout club or something, and they earn 500 points for that. And then finally, the feedback side. So we may have formal peer review that happens, and it may be a 5-star rating system, and they get 10 points for every gold star they get. Maybe we have an annual 360, 20 points per gold star. And these two are more formalized approaches. We may have some ad hoc feedback as well. Cell phone apps where after you've done a sales presentation or presentation to your team, they can give you, again, accolades. And in this case, you get 1 point per gold star for these ad hoc structures. So the idea is the points are allocated based on the activities they do, both the processes and projects, the development activities they do, contribution to corporate mission, vision, values, and their feedback, all in proportion to the strategic importance. So for example, if our focus was on attracting better share of wallet from existing customers, these point systems would be changed to point the sales rep in that direction. So what do we end up with in this sort of environment? We can begin building a related structure like we described, and at the same time, we can begin to add in things like leaderboards if we want to increase the competitiveness within the sales environment, or even status levels. So if you earn so many points, you get onto the President's Club, and at a certain point, you level up. What does that mean in the organization? Things like you take on more responsibilities, you get on bigger projects, you get named accounts, maybe you become a regional manager. So against all these things, we can now begin producing some feedback that the organization and the sales rep gets on an ongoing basis. So the actual scorecard might look a bit like this, where we can see our overall progress, and then we can take a look against each of those objectives. So sales to new customers, how many points have we got year to date, what awards have we received for the work that we've done, and in this case, how close are we to leveling up to the regional manager. And we also have points from each of those other categories and related awards. So the idea now is the rep gets that feedback on a monthly basis. And maybe once a quarter, just like in a game, the coach is going to come in at quarter end and give us some coaching ideas on how we go forward with the next period or next quarter. Likewise, the organization can quickly identify the quick rising employees, identify where there are gaps in our performance and so forth, and provide a much more effective employee feedback system. So here's how we apply the strategy, the game mechanics, and ongoing activities into a Salesforce activity. And in this case, we can just pull the data straight from the source application, whether that's your internal sales software or an application like salesforce.com.